Hi everyone, my name's Marcus and I'm a fibre artist from Glasgow in Scotland, and this is going to be my April 2024 project update video, and I'll just be taking a look back at what I've been working on over the last month or so. So first of all, I've just noticed this just now. Please excuse this leaf. If she looks unwell, it's because she badly needed watered. She has been watered, but hopefully tomorrow she will bounce back and look lovely again. So now that that's out of the way, April's been a busy one. As always, the past few months have been consistently busy this whole year. I feel like I've really not had much of a break. But I have had some crafting time and it's been great. So I've only got one finished. I'm not going to say it's a finished object, it's a finished project. Because this is... I finished the project, but this is for another project. It'll make sense. You may have, if you've seen my weaving video that I posted last, you will have already seen this, but I'm still obsessed and I'm going to show it off again. I finished off the piece of fabric that I was weaving. And this is a mixture of my hand-dyed 4-ply sock yarn and some hand-spun yarn that I spun as well. So the teal yarn that you see, it's some seconds quality of my own hand-dyed. It was a little bit less saturated than it should have been. It's the colourway it was intended to be was lachrymose, which is not too dissimilar. There was just some, it wasn't like the whole skein, there was just some parts of it that weren't as saturated as they should be. And instead of re-dyeing, they just kind of sat in my studio for a year. It was a full batch. So instead of re-dyeing them, I just thought I would use them in a project. And they worked fine. The hand spun, it's actually a core spun yarn that I done, and that was using fibre from LiQWYD. It was one of her fats, PHATTS, which is just a really, really large bat. I think they're maybe 150, 200 grams. I'm not sure. They're pretty huge. But the colours was called Gummy Worms, which I'm sure you can see why because of all these amazing like gummy worm colours. But yeah, so that's finished off. It's kind of like a tartan, just a little bit crazy. And I'm really in love with this. The ultimate goal for this fabric is that I'm going to learn to sew with the fabric. I was thinking a project bag, but I have quite a lot of it, so it might be a couple project bags, potentially. But I'm sure it will go to good use when I get round to getting over my fear of sewing machines. So yeah, so that was my one finished project. Not technically a finished object, because this is now supplies for another project, but absolutely in love with it. So on to my works in progress. I don't have too much. I did actually, I made a couple more baby socks. I gave a chunk of those socks to my friend who had a baby back in February, and then another one of my friends had a baby like a fortnight ago. Actually, I don't even think it was 2 weeks ago, I think it was a week ago they had a baby. So I've got some more baby knitting to do for them, but then my sister is due, I think she's due at the end of May, so you know, today's the 30th of April. I need to get on. I really need to crack on with all of my baby knits. But so yeah, I'll be starting some more baby socks. I have lots and lots of... The great thing about baby socks is that they use up so little yarn that like it's just, you know, I've got so many scraps of sock yarn that I've made socks with for myself. So I can just use, you know, the ends of skeins to make like, cute pairs of baby socks. They really don't use much yarn at all. So on that theme, this work in progress is destined to become a baby blanket. It's gotten pretty large. And it's just the simple chevron pattern that I've kind of made up by myself. And the last project update video, I got to this marker. Well, I added this marker afterwards. So I've knit all of this since then. I don't know, I would say I'm about 2/3 of the way through, maybe a bit more than that. I had 6 balls of yarn, and they were 50-gram balls, and I've used 4, and I've got 1 of each colour left. So I'm about 2/3 of the way through, and I'm really bored. I'm really bored of this. Big part is I'm still using these ginormous needles, which, because there's quite a bit of weight in the project now, like when I'm lifting them, I really feel like I'm like trying to row a canoe or something, but I'm that close to being finished. There's no point in buying new needles, especially when I probably have like circular needles in that size. So I'm going to keep cracking on with that. If I get the motivation, I could finish this really quickly, but I do not have the motivation because I'm so bored of it. It's kind of a vicious cycle. I want to get it done, but I can't be bothered doing it. It's not that I can't be bothered. I've just not been in the mood for lifting it up, to be honest. But we will get there. I will get there. So that's that. My next project is pretty cool, in my opinion. That's living in my Calloch Sheck Ellen bag that I got from the Scottish Wool Producers Showcase. And this is some yarn. I'm not sure if I showed this off on the last episode. I think it might have just arrived before I recorded, so I think I might have. But the yarn is from Dyed in the Wool. I think I did show you this actually, and I had their business card like 10 minutes ago. It's not where I left it. I didn't put it in the project bag because that would be too logical. But yeah, the yarn is from Dyed in the Wool, and it is the Trans Pride colours. If you can see, the white has nice little speckles of pink and blue, the same pink and blue that's in the main. So the yarn was 3 20-gram mini skeins, which for me is perfect for a pair of socks. And what I'm doing is, I've done 1 tone blue, 1 tone pink, and then knitting along in the white. And I'm going to do the heel, and basically I'm going to use the full 20-gram of each of them. So they'll probably be longer socks than I usually knit. But so once I've used up all of the white speckled, I'm then going to alternate. So this one with the blue toe is going to have a pink cuff. This one with the pink toe is going to have a blue cuff, which I think will be pretty fun. I like that whole, like, they match but they're not the same. I enjoy that. Like before I started knitting socks, I always wore odd socks. On purpose. I had a big collection of like novelty socks, I suppose you would call them, like, you know, ones with different patterns, like cheeseburgers, donuts, pugs, whatever. Basically whenever the clothing shops I used to go to got new socks in, I would buy them. It was just something I collected at the time. But since I started knitting socks, I like religiously wear a matching pair, because no pair of socks I've knit are exactly the same, because my tension might change slightly over time. The length that I make them, even the foot, the way I do a heel is going to be different across each sock. So I can't really, well, I mean I could, but it would feel weird having a sock that fits in one way and a sock that fits in a different way on at the same time. So I like religiously wear matching socks now. So making a pair that match but they are not the same, that really appeals to my love of odd socks. So I've kind of been tearing away at these. I've got quite a bit done. All I have left of this is all I have left of the white. So really not a lot, not far to go. I'm hoping that they should be finished before I go on holiday at the end of March, because these would be fun to wear. So that is that. The only other whips that I have, I've already shown before, and I've not had any progress made on them, because I'm a terrible person and I don't have time to do much crafting. But I did go through to the LiQWYD Yarn Festival in Edinburgh at the weekend there, and I have some goodies to share. So first of all, this isn't in order that I bought things, but it's in order of how close it is to my hand, which is just as exciting. So from a company called Woolly Cottage, I bought this is a spinning tool. So there's a few different kind of aspects to it. So here, is that upside down? Or is that back to front? Okay, it's upside down. So this is kind of a yarn gauge, so you can see how thick your yarn is, what kind of size that would fit into. This is a wraps per inch, and does it have centimetres? Yeah. So that's centimetres, that's inches. So this is a wraps per inch tool here. And up at the top you have the kind of, I don't actually know what you call it. It's basically to see like how much twist you have in. It's really hard to explain without having yarn that would work. But you can see basically how much twist by what angle you see the kind of strands of yarn going round, and that can affect your choices. You can see if you're adding too much twist for what you want. That's all a bit too advanced for me, but I've been wanting something like this for years, especially this part here. Having a wraps per inch tool on the same thing, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. As I said, every time I go to an event I look for these, and I've seen them before I was looking for them. I used to see them at events quite regularly, but then it was like maybe 3 years ago I decided, oh, that would be quite a useful thing for me, and I've not seen one since. So getting one, absolutely brilliant. Tick that off the list of ideas that I've had. And oh, it smells amazing. Like it's obviously like a laser burned. I'm sure there's an actual terminology for that, but you can smell the like smokiness. Love that. And also from Woolly Cottage, I got this is a Turkish spindle. I'll take it out. Apologies for the rustling. So this is a Turkish spindle, but it has been 3D printed, and it's been, instead of using the plastic filament, it's been printed using cornstarch, which is pretty cool. So there's no like virgin plastic being used in this. And if you look closely, it's actually kind of glittery. It's a black, but with like a kind of, it kind of comes up, yeah, it's like a kind of gold glitter to it, which is pretty cool. If you're not familiar with Turkish spindles, you slot the two pieces in together and then pop that through, and then you can spin. I'm really excited about this. I have been wanting to try out a Turkish spindle for a few years now. It's not been like, oh, I absolutely have to do that, but it's been like, you know, if I ever, you know, get the chance to pick one up, I will. And when I seen these, I was like, yeah, cool, this is the time. And it's black and glittery, which is great. I don't think that spinning on a Turkish spindle is going to be like my main way of spinning or anything like that. I have a traditional Saxony style wheel from Kromsky, like a wooden spinning wheel, and I have an electric eel wheel 6, I think, so like an electric e-spinner. I love them. I think they're both great. I don't think this is going to overtake that, but I want to give it a try. They look pretty fun. And I'll maybe do a video dedicated just to me trying out the Turkish spindle. We'll see. No promises. So that was what I got from Woolly Cottage, and I will link anything I can. I don't know if they have their own website, but whatever I can find for them, I'll link it down below. So next up, I went to the Modern Crafter. I think this was actually the first stall that I went to. I'd never heard of the Modern Crafter before, but the Woolly Good Festival shared like, you know, their like kind of business profile on Instagram, and I seen that they do like punch needle kits, and I was like, oh, brilliant. I've been wanting to try punch needle out for about a year or so, and I keep meaning to like order supplies for it, and then when I seen that they were going to be vending and that they had punch needle kits and tools, I was like, yes, sign me up. So when I first went into Woolly Good, kind of after I bought my ticket, the first thing I did was I was like, I need to find the Modern Crafter. I need to get me a punch needle kit because I've been so excited to try it out. I really wanted to do it in January, when I kind of decided that I'm just going to kind of give in to whatever crafty notions I have this year. I'm just going to give in to all of my kind of impulses, and I'm going to try out what I want to try out. So yeah, I made a beeline for the Modern Crafter as soon as I got into the festival, and I picked up a punch needle. And I also got some fabric. It's just plain white. There's no point taking it out of the tissue paper. And their tissue paper is lovely. I love a bit of branding. Yeah, so got my punch needle tool. I'm really excited to try it out. They did have lots of really, really nice kits. But I have quite a few ideas in my head of things that I want to do with punch needling. So I was like, I maybe don't need a kit. And it's... I think I understand how to do it. It's like I don't think I need a kit. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I might be horribly wrong and I might really need some guidance. But I can always order a kit online if I change my mind about that. But whilst I was at their stand, I seen that they had embroidery kits. And, you know, I've wanted to do embroidery for a long time. If you are in any of my knit groups or have spent time with me, you've probably heard me mentioning it before, that I've been, you know, like buying embroidery supplies. I've been buying embroidery patterns, and I've never actually done it. I've like sampled a couple different stitches before, but I've never done an embroidery project as such. I do actually own a kit. I don't know where it is. I did buy a kit not that long ago, and I never got around to using it. So I bought another one. This is like a nice autumnal one. There was lots of really, really nice ones. But yeah, it was like the little moth and the little mushroom. They really sold it for me. And this comes with absolutely everything I need. I think it comes with a hoop. Let me check. I have lots of embroidery hoops because I've been hoarding supplies for years without ever actually trying anything. Yeah. Okay. So it comes with everything that I need. It's got the fabric that has the design printed on it. It's got all of the embroidery floss, and there's a needle there too. So absolutely everything I need. It's got stitch guide, and I think there might be like online tutorials for the stitches as well. I mean, I know that there is tutorials online, but I think there might be one specifically done by the Modern Crafter. So I'm really excited to give that a go. Both the embroidery kit and the punch needle, I am planning on doing a video similar to what I've done with nail binding, where I try a new project. I might try and make like a little series out of it. Who knows? Yeah. I thought punch needling, you're kind of just going up and down. There is a skill to it, but there's not like different stitches. Well, I don't believe there is. Maybe there will be, but whereas with embroidery, you know, there's lots of different techniques. There's as many different stitches as there is people doing it. So I thought a kit would be a great way for me to get started, just to give me some kind of foundational knowledge that I can then expand on. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for it. I think that'll be lovely. And my plan is that I might have that on the wall, because I do want to... This was going to be kind of what I've been calling the crap wall, where I just want to fill it with stuff. And I want a lot of that stuff to be handmade. So far the only thing I've got is my lovely frog print. But yeah, I'll fill the wall out eventually, and as much with as much handmade things as I can. So yeah, I'll definitely make a video on the both of them. And then, yeah, then I went to For the Love of Yarn, who is a Glasgow-based dyer, Lisa. She's absolutely lovely. Her yarn is absolutely beautiful, but I was not shopping for yarn at the weekend. But they do have these lovely... I don't know what these are actually called. Like twisters. So the idea is that you can like set a cake of yarn on this kind of peg. I'll call it a peg. This can go around your wrist or around, you know, a wide variety of things. And whilst the cake of yarn is on here, this spins quite freely, so you can, you know, you can walk and knit, and you're not having to worry about like yarn feeding off of the cake or the ball or whatever. It just comes off quite naturally. But I have seen people online who have like had these like hooked on a shelf or something, so that they can just knit and, you know, the yarn's not rolling about the floor. It's kind of like a portable yarn bowl. Yarn bowls don't work for me because I'm never really sitting in the same place long enough for it to be useful. And the one time I did use a yarn bowl, there was a knot in the yarn that I was using, and I kind of yanked it, and the yarn bowl fell off of the table and smashed. So don't need that. Yeah, this one that I got, it's like navy blue. Well, this part's not navy, but nice navy strap. This part here, it has a nice sheep on it, which admittedly I did think was a dog at first, but you know, it's definitely a sheep. But I just thought it was kind of cute. How much will I use this? I do not know. I don't really walk in that, because I don't really walk that much. I'm either walking to work or walking the dog. I don't really see me knitting whilst walking the dog, because she is absolutely crazy still. So when I'm walking her, it's a hands-on experience just now. She's getting better, but yeah, I don't think I'm quite there to be able to knit whilst I walk her, but maybe soon. Yeah, so that was kind of a I seen it and I wanted it, so I bought it kind of purchase, which is kind of my favourite way to shop. I don't regret it at all. I will use it. Actually, I think that could be really handy for the studio, because I can hang it from a shelf, or actually have a hanging apparatus above the chair that I sit on in the studio. But yeah, I do need a new studio project. I used to have a big blanket project for when I was in the shed, not my crocheted one. I actually ripped that one out. It ended up a disaster, but you know, whilst I'm in the studio and I'm like waiting for yarn to dye and I'm kind of stuck in between things, it's nice to like have something that I can just set, like, instead of like just scrolling on my phone. Such a waste of time. So yeah, this might actually become the studio cake spinner, yarn spinner, whatever. I need to find out what these are actually called. I kept calling it a twiddle muffin. I don't really know. Yeah, a twister, a yarn twister, spinner. I feel like it's going to be called a spinner, not a twister. So yeah, The other stuff that I got, I didn't actually know this until I was at the event because I'm way behind on my social media. I'm not on as much as I used to be just because I'm really busy all the time. And when I do have time, like to just kind of chill out and do nothing, I don't want to spend that just doom scrolling through Instagram. So I missed out on a lot of things, but when I got to the event, I realised that Charmaine's Yarn Things was vending at the event, and I was really excited. I've been really wanting to get a hold of some of her fibre for a while. She's an indie dyer, but she does a hell of a lot of spinning fibre, and it's her fibre specifically that I was looking for, and I was not disappointed. So I got this braid. There's her lovely, lovely, I was going to say like ball band, but it's not yarn, but her label anyway, which is so cool. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I got this braid of fibre, which is so fun, and it is ridiculously soft because this is, it is camel and mulberry silk, and it's 100 grams. And honestly, this is like a liquid. It's that soft. It's ceased to be a solid. But it's got so many different colours. But it's got this kind of gold going through it. And see, because of the silk, it really is like gold. Yeah, because you've got that lovely shine. But then you've got all these like pinks and purples and blues. I believe, yeah, there's some like green and teal. Yeah, it's just kind of got absolutely everything in it. I have no idea whatsoever what I'll use this for. Like, I didn't have a project in mind. It was just like pretty much everything else I bought. I saw it and I wanted it, so I bought it. Yeah, it's see, because it's such like nice soft fibre. I don't want to just rush into using it. I want to kind of come up with something to use it for in a way that's going to kind of show that off best. But I have no idea what that looks like just yet, so this will go into the idea cupboard for a while to gestate and think about what it wants to become when it grows up. And also from Charmaine's Yarn Things, I bought a nice big bat. I don't actually know what the fibre content is. I didn't ask. I didn't really care. But it's a black base with, you know, lots of nice brights running through it. Oh, this lock keeps popping out, but that's fine. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to use this. I know because this has got locks in it. This will work really, really well for like a really textured yarn. Could also absolutely be used for something less textured, but I think because I've got those locks in there with a nice lock structure, I definitely want to use that feature instead of kind of fighting against it. I really want to do something interesting. It's such a great, interesting bat. I really want to go with that and make a really interesting yarn. So, I believe that is all the acquisitions that I have to show. That's everything I bought at the festival. I had a lovely time there. Seeing lots of people that I know, seeing lots of friends, and bumping into people that I've not seen for years was absolutely lovely. And it was a really, really gorgeous sunny day in Scotland, which these days are so rare that when you do get them, it just makes everything just that little bit more sparkly. So I think I'll just wrap up now, keep it short and sweet. And maybe next month I'll have loads and loads to show you. Who knows? I am going on holiday at the end of May. I'm going on a cruise actually. Sorry, I've got that. I've got the fibre from that bat all up in my beard right now. Yeah, I'm going on holiday at the end of May for, I think it's like 10 days. My partner's done the organising. I'm kind of just showing up to the airport, and yeah, being a holiday princess. But yeah, so I don't know if I'll actually do like a May updates video. I don't know how much time I'm going to have between now and then to craft, so I don't want to kind of push videos out just for the sake of pushing videos out. If I don't have anything to talk about, I'm not going to talk about it. But I don't know, maybe something magical will happen and I'll have hours and hours and hours on end to make all of the beautiful things. But I do... So we're going on a cruise. And there's that sea days on the cruise, which for me is kind of torture. I need to be busy all the time. I can't really relax. I relax by doing things. So I think on the cruise, I might be able to get a shitload of crafting done. And with this super portable spinning device, I might even get some spinning done on the cruise. I do not know. We'll just see what happens. But I am going to have a think about what projects I'm taking on holiday with me. I'll definitely take a sock project because they're portable, they're great. I can't fly without a sock project. And I've also never had an issue at the airport getting like my knitting taken off of me, even though I use high sharps, which are deadly devices. But yeah, I'll need to have a think about that. We shall see. Until next time, thank you very much and goodbye.